Again, my name is Matt Turner. I'm the President and CEO of Rockhaven Resources, and today I'll be presenting on our Claza Gold-Silver project located in Canada's Yukon. That's our forward-looking statement slide. Perfect. So this is an aerial picture of kind of the main exploration area of our project. I often refer to it as God's gift to the mineral explorationist. Really taking a look at it, you got nice gentle topography, roads everywhere. You're in effectively a brownfield exploration site because we've got a couple of old mines nearby, about 8 kilometers away. And there's placer creeks or placer mines in basically all the creeks around the project as well. Furthermore, the main whaleback hill where you can see all the work's been done, that's what hosts the deposit. And it's got about a meter of overburden blanketing the entire hill, and that's been key, I guess, to basically hide the deposits over the many years. This area started being looked at in the late 30s, but the high grade was never found because of that 1 meter blanket. But through pretty diligent exploration work and the use of an excavator, a couple large excavators, we were able to make those discoveries. So again, kind of like Tony's project, the Free Gold Mountain, located 25 kilometers north of us, we also benefit from the road access. We're about a 3-hour drive from the capital city of Whitehorse, and again, you can get a sense of the good quality road. Our resource is just in the distance there. Here's a look at a claim post in the Yukon. That's how you stake claims. But our project is quite large now. We're at about 287 square kilometers in size. And most of those claims are unencumbered by royalties, including the claims that cover the mineral resources. So again, it's a nice little ace we basically can keep up our sleeve for potential future financing. When we purchased the project in 2009, Robert Strauss, a well-known geologist in Yukon, he's since passed away. But when I spoke to Robert right off the bat about writing a technical report for us, he knew the Nansen district very well. He told me you can't dig anywhere in the Nansen district without finding gold, and dig we did. There's a look at one of our many excavator trenches. We're at 24 kilometers now in linear trenching. So again, that's basically what we've used to expose underneath the soil geochemical anomalies, making the discoveries, and then we've gone on to drill them. One kind of neat thing about this year is we eclipsed the 100,000th meter mark for drilling at Claza, which is pretty neat. But you can get a sense of that's kind of the standard drills we use. No helicopters, no expensive equipment to move these things around, just basically a cat or an excavator. You can see the skid mounted. And then all the drills are basically serviced by either side-by-side ATVs or trucks. What does 100,000 meters of Trillian looks like, or core looks like? You can get a sense here in this picture. All those stacks around and behind the drills are all stacks of core. And it's a pretty impressive site. So the main target for our drilling is epithermal gold. You'll see soon with on the next slide with our resource numbers, but that's why we've got such nice high grades. Although the veins are narrow, they're very high grade with very sharp contacts with what's ore and what's waste. One of the big things with the veins as well is they exhibit exceptional continuity, both lateral and down dip. And all the veins basically begin at surface. Here's a look at our resource estimate. There's a lot of numbers here. The top part of the table is our indicated resources, which include about 60% of our total resources, and then below is the inferred. I'll highlight a few numbers here. Effectively, if you look at the resource as a whole, you're looking at about 1.62 million ounces gold equivalent at an average grade of 5 grams gold equivalent. On a value basis, it's about 75% of the values in the gold, 15% in the silver, and then 5% the lead and 5% to the zinc. But it's an impressive resource on a global standard or global scale. Also, too, again, as we move this project into the economics here, pit constraint is always key. Again, the zones come to surface, so that's a real focus. And about, I guess, 47% of the resource that you see here is in the pit constraint category, and averaging about 5.5 grams or so gold equivalent, with about just over 700,000 ounces gold equivalent in that pit constrained resource. The block model, again, you get a sense of the continuity of the mineralizing system. That's a heat map too, so everything in the pink is above 5 grams per ton gold equivalent. You can see in the western area, highlighted by the Western Claza and Western BRX zone, that's kind of the highest grade area, and between those two faults that host those zones, it's about 500 meters. So it's a big system. The entire system itself runs for about 1.6 kilometers, and we've chased it down dip for about an average of 350 meters or so. One thing I will note too, in the Western BRX zone, we have a pit-constrained indicated resource of 232,000 ounces of gold at 9.5 grams average. So pretty nice crown jewel for the project. So what are we going to do next here? We have a nice resource. We have a lot of really nice targets. We could keep going down on the resource. Some of our best holes to date are actually the deepest holes into the system. The Central Claza hole, deepest hole, that's 425 meters below surface. That cut just under 12 grams gold over 6.7 meters. Also the Western BRX zone, the deepest hole, that's actually the deepest hole to date. That's about 500 meters down dip. That was 1.37 meters of 16 grams gold and 1,400 grams silver with 12% combined lead zinc. So some nice numbers down below. The only problem is, again, we're looking ahead to the economic story of this. And as you get further down, you're probably in year 10 plus of the mine life. So again, for us, with that in mind, we're going to be looking at some of these other structures that we've identified through the fair amount of work we've done, and look at the near surface portions of those zones. This map here shows the golden soil kind of in the main exploration area with the zones that we've identified to date, the traces of those zones. In black, those are the resource areas. So you can see it's a fairly small percentage of the area that we've explored is actually in resources. If we overlay on that on the picture below, we annotate in where the zones are, and then we color the resources in black. You get a sense of kind of where they lay on the hill, but also what I've outlined there is where we've looked this year. So we completed about 6,000 meters of drilling in September of this year, and those were our focused areas. Again, trying to add more near-surface mineralization onto the resources. And visually, it looked like we were quite successful. We'll have those results out probably over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And then the nice thing is too is we're actually fully funded for next year's exploration program. We might add more money to that, but right now we're looking at least a $2 million program, which equates to about 10,000 meters. So the Victoria target, I've circled that. That's a really attractive target with high-grade gold and silver in trenches and float samples. Never been drilled, so we'll throw some holes in there. And then the Rust target down to the south, which has been basically recently identified by Rockhaven just over the last couple of years through soil geochem sampling. And again, that's never been tested either, so we're going to do a fence of holes in there. But it's actually one of the largest arsenic in soil geochemical anomalies our group's ever seen. So in closing, the company is well capitalized now, $3.2 million in the treasury. We've got 187 million shares outstanding, a market cap of about $25 million or so. We've got some very strong shareholders too, Strategic Metals, Insiders, Coeur Mining's in there as well, and Tocqueville Asset Management. And yeah, a very strong team behind us, over 200 years of mineral exploration knowledge, and most of that focused in the Yukon. Thanks very much. Thank you, Jay.